Okay, be honest with me. Would you drop $400 on a Star Wars game from 2003? A game that got a 73 on Metacritic? Like, not even that good? Because right now, that's exactly what's happening. This random pad racing game that nobody cared about, literally 3 days ago, is selling for more than a Nintendo Switch, and it has nothing to do with the game. This is the wildest tech story of 2026 so far. And I'm going to tell you the part that everyone else is missing, because this isn't just about some jailbreak. This is about Sony's worst nightmare coming true again. Let's get into it. So here's what happened. New Year's Eve, everyone's popping bottles. Counting down to midnight, and somewhere in the darkest corners of the internet, the PS5's ROM keys just leaked. Now, if you don't know what that means, basically imagine someone just posted the master blueprints to Fort Knox, along with every vault combination. That's how bad this is. But here's the thing. Just having the keys doesn't mean you can walk in. You still need a door. An entry point to actually use those keys. Enter this random game, Star Wars Racer Revenge. A game so forgettable that when limited run games printed 8,500 copies back in 2019, most of them probably ended up in people's closets or GameStop bargain bins. January 1st, this developer named Gazine drops a video. He's using this game to inject code into a PS5. The video shows him printing UWU on the screen. Which sounds stupid, but in hacking terms, that's huge. If you can print that, you can theoretically print anything. Within 24 hours, this game went from $20 to $250, then $300, then $400. Some listings hit $500. The gold rush was on. Here's where it gets interesting. And this is the part literally nobody else is talking about. Sony's been here before. They got absolutely destroyed. Let me take you back to 2010. PS3's been out for 4 years. Sony's walking around like our console is unhackable. You've got this thing called a hypervisor that's basically Fort Knox. They were so confident they even let people install Linux on it. Then they got scared. In April 2010, they saw hackers getting a little too comfortable with that Linux access, so they just removed it. With a firmware update, just took it away. That was probably the dumbest thing they could have done, because up until that moment, most hackers were just vibing. They had their Linux playground. They were happy. But when Sony took it away, they made it personal. 8 months later, December 2010, this hacking group called Fail0Verflow exposed something insane. Sony had been using the same random number to sign all their software. If you know anything about security, it's like using password 1234 everything and then writing it on a sticky note. Then George Hotz. Yeah, the same dude who jailbroke the first iPhone, he just straight up published the PS3's master keys online. Just posted them for anyone to download. Sony sued everybody. They tried to put the genie back in the bottle, but it was too late. The PS3 was done. Custom firmware everywhere. Piracy exploded. And here's the worst part. They couldn't fix it. Those keys were burned into the hardware. Every single PS3 ever made was permanently vulnerable. Fast forward to right now, PS5 ROM keys just leaked. Those are also burned into the hardware. They also can't be patched. It's literally happening again. Okay, so here's my hot take, and people might disagree with this. This jailbreak might not even matter. Like, hear me out. Back in 2010, when the PS3 got cracked, most games were single-player stuff you could pirate and play offline. But in 2026, what are the biggest games on PlayStation? It's Fortnite, Call of Duty, GTA Online, Apex, Destiny 2. See the pattern? They're all online. The second Sony detects you're running a jailbroken console, you're banned forever. Your $500 console becomes a brick that can only play pirated single-player games offline. And look at what's coming this year. GTA 6, which we all know is going to be heavily online focused. Forza Horizon 6. Everything has massive multiplayer now. So let's do the math real quick. PS5, $500. Star Wars disc, $400. Jailbreaking, it means permanent PSN ban. What you get is offline pirated games. What you lose is every online game, your whole digital library, multiplayer forever. For most people, that's a terrible deal. But there is one group of people who actually want this. Right now, there's this crazy psychological battle happening on eBay. And honestly, it's kind of fascinating. Look, the people panic buying these $400 copies basically fall into a few groups. First, you've got the hardcore tinkerers. Well, these guys just want to run Linux on their PS5, install emulators, mess around with homebrew. They don't care about getting banned because they're not playing online anyway. They're the smallest group, but they're willing to pay. Then you have what I call the just-in-case people. They're buying now, thinking maybe I'll want a jailbreak in like 2 years. They're betting the price only goes up. Spoiler alert, they're probably wrong, but we'll get to that. But the worst group, resellers, most of these people don't even own a PS5. They read just buying copies at $250 and trying to flip them for $400. They literally creating fake scarcity to farm your FOMO. And then there's the confused impulse buyers who saw PS5 jailbreak trending, panicked, bought a copy without realizing you also need to be on firmware 12.0, which means if you've updated your console since like November. If you've been online, downloaded any games, you're on 12.01 or higher. That $400 game is useless to you. Here's my prediction. In 2, maybe 3 weeks, prices crash back to like $50 to $80. Why? The jailbreak isn't even publicly released yet. Early adopters are going to resell their copies after they're redone with it. You only need it once. Someone might find a workaround with a different game. Honestly, the actual demand is tiny. Maybe 10,000 hardcore users worldwide. With 8,500 copies out there, this isn't a supply shortage. It's manufactured panic. You know who I actually feel bad for, though? Sony's security team? Like, imagine walking into that meeting on January 2nd. Hey guys, remember that thing we said couldn't happen? Yeah, it happened on New Year's Eve, and we can't fix it. These are hardware-level keys. The only fix is redesigning the entire chip and making new consoles. We're talking millions, maybe billions in losses. Every PS5 in existence right now is vulnerable forever. They can't recall them. They can't patch them. All they can do is beef up other security and pray. And game developers, especially indie devs, GTA 6 will be fine with its online stuff. But what about small single-player indie games? If piracy actually takes off, they're the ones who get hurt. Regular people who just want to play games. You're going to see so many sketchy YouTube videos promising free PS5 games that are actually just malware. People are going to brick their consoles following bad tutorials. It's going to be a mess. Alright, real talk time. If you're just a regular PS5 owner playing your games, nothing changes for you. Don't fall for scam tutorials. Keep playing. We are on firmware 12.00 thinking about this. Ask yourself, are you really willing to give up PSN forever? No Call of Duty. No Fortnite. No GTA Online. No updates? Is that worth it? If you randomly own a copy of Star Wars Racer Revenge, honestly, let's sell it now while prices are high. Take your $300 profit and bounce.
Nice.
Prices are going to crash. If you're a game preservationist or a developer, this could actually be good long-term. More homebrew means better emulation, Linux support, game preservation. That's the silver lining. And if you're Sony, sorry bro, you're kind of screwed. The PS3 taught us this doesn't end well. Best move? Speed up the PS6 with new hardware. Maybe offer PS5 Pro revisions with new security keys. Here's the thing about console security. It's a war that manufacturers always eventually lose. Always. PS1 got cracked. PS2 got cracked. PS3 got absolutely demolished. Now the PS5 is next. But the real question is, in an era where most gaming is online, where live services run everything, where your whole library is tied to your account, does jailbreaking even matter anymore? Or is this just the last stand of something that's already dying? I honestly don't know. I think that's the most interesting part of this whole story. Drop a comment. Would you pay $400 for this game to jailbreak your PS5? Or is this the dumbest gold rush in gaming history? Hit subscribe if you want more tech stories that actually give you context instead of just reading headlines. See you in the next one.